Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon White 2. So last part, we have essentially, all we really did was just explore around, I want to say around half of Driftveil City. Yeah, I want to say we did it around at least half of that. And so now for this part, we're not only going to be going for the second, we're not only going to be exploring around the second half of Driftveil City. And then we're gonna, which of course includes going over to the house that now belongs to the ex-members of Team Plasma. And now okay everyone, now as you can see within the Driftveil Market, as I said last time. Yeah, now the stuff that you get here is essentially the same ordeal as you would have last time. Now, I would say the only change that they did to the Driftveil Market is that the ex-member of Team Plasma that was here after you defeated Gensis. Yeah, now that same guy who sells those essences, he will be here automatically, meaning of course. And now if you want to breed either Rosalia or Meryl, so that you can get yourself. You know, like a Badoo or an Azurill. You can't do so right from the get-go. It's just that you need to make sure that you get yourself plenty of money for it. Oh, yeah, and also that same guy right there who says that he'll give you something good if you give him if you show him a Pokemon that's at least a level 30. Now, at this point, yeah, my team is actually getting really close to actually reaching that. Yeah. Yeah, where unlike last time, where I essentially had to wait until after I defeated the Driftveil Gym, so then I could at least get my team up to level 30. Whereas now, yeah, my team has already already reached up to level 30. So yeah, Black 2 and White 2, during the base game of Black 2 and White 2, as you can tell. Yeah, considering with how much more content than there is, unlike there was last time. Yeah, now you can actually get yourself even more prepped up, and also your levels are gonna be a little bit more higher leveled than they were previously. So yeah, stuff like that, huh? Okay, I'll say so. Next building, we're just gonna be entering here. Oh, I think this is the guy, or should I say the two NPCs that will give you your first set of moves. If it just so happen to give them a set of shards. Now the shards that you give to them are the red shards. And the moves that you get from them. Now, if you give them 2 red shards, you can have your Pokemon learn move. You can have your Pokemon learn Coved and Butt Bite. And if you just happen to give them 4 red shards, you can have your Pokemon learn Drill Run, Bounce, Signal Beam, and also Iron Head. And if you give them six red shards, now you can have your Pokemon learn Super Feint, Uproar, Seed Bomb, and also Dual Chop. and if you give him, and if you give them, and if you give them, eight, and if you give them eight red shards, you'll be able to learn a low kick and gunk shot. And if you give him at least 10 red shards, you can have your Pokemon learn Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and finally, and lastly, Ice Punch. So yeah, if you definitely want your Pokemon to learn all those moves, then you're definitely gonna have your work cut out for you when it comes to shards. Yeah. Anyways, sometimes you should learn your Pokemon. You have to learn how Pokemon learn moves and items on TV to your programs. Well, that is if you really want to, anyway. Some Pokemon, they evolve by trade. Well, not from anybody that I know that I have on my team that can evolve for trades. Which, thank God, I don't do that. Well, not anymore, anyway. Yeah, especially not after what happened when I first played Pokemon Sun, and I wanted to get myself a Magnemite, but the process of getting, for the trade with how you trade Pokemon during the Gen 7 titles, yeah, it was definitely a big hassle. Yeah. But anyway, so now if you talk to this guy, he will give you the air balloon, which for those of you that don't know, now for those of you who don't know, the air balloon it can help you avoid ground type moves. But however, that air balloon will pop the second that it gets hit by any other attacking moves. So yeah, that's why you really have to think carefully about which Pokemon will be the most beneficial when it comes to having them avoid our ground type moves. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about you? A Pokemon of Thunder and a Pokemon of Wind were roaming everywhere and causing trouble. Oh yeah, they certainly were. Then they were punished by a Pokemon of the soil. You obviously are referring to the third one of that trio. Yeah. Now, once again, I will go over those free Pokemon. Now, we are getting more closer for me to go over those free specific Pokemon. But I am still gonna wait until we actually get to learn more about them. Yeah. Okay, but anyways, now before we continue, before we head on over to before you head on over to the Exit Team Plasma House. Now, I would highly recommend that you place one of your Pokemon in the PC, so that you can at least have one free slot. Trust me. Yeah, you will be grateful. Although that is if you actually really want to utilize the thing that we are going to get. When we actually go to the Team Plasma House. Oh yeah, she says that Driftveil's Heartbreaker Charles isn't the biggest attraction anymore. Yeah, all because of the fact that we now have the Pokemon. Now that we have the Pokemon World Tournament. But anyways, now from this guy, you can get net balls, nest balls, and dusk balls from him. And of course you can once again can also get yourself a big set of mail too. Oh, but anyways, if you want to get yourself those set of like Pokeballs, you can do so. And again, you just have to make sure that you have got the money for it. Now, what about you? On the other side of the ocean, and all over all over the world, there sure are a lot of different Pokemon. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot. Whoa, dude! If a Pokemon uses the move Surf, it can catch a wave. Well, not so much in Driftveil City anymore, because, well, as I said before, yeah, considering that the lighthouse is now gone, meaning that we cannot utilize the move Surf within Driftveil City anymore. So, yeah, unfortunately, he is not going to be seeing any surfing going on around here. Yeah, maybe he really should be in a different city if he really wants to see Pokemon utilizing the move Surf. Yeah. But anyways, a terrific trainer. Let me share a training tip. Let me share a training tip with you. During a battle with a trainer, even if your Pokemon's items are taken away, don't worry. They will be returned to you safely after the battle. But disposable items seem to disappear. Yeah, like for example, berries. Yeah, definitely for a major example, of course being berries. Yeah, hence why even nowadays, yeah, I really do not utilize any sort of berries on my I really don't utilize any berries on my Pokemon. Well, aside from what you saw when I faced off against Charon, so that we could get our first gym badge. Yeah, the main reason why I did that is because, yeah, with the fact that back then Riolu still didn't have force. Yeah, considering that back then Riolu still didn't have Force Palm yet. So yeah, and I wanted to make sure that my Pokemon was in good condition so that I can defeat Sharon at that point. So, but for any other time, I rarely even utilize berries. Yeah. The Pokemon next door, I feel like it's intimidating me. Well, this was before the Scraggy line had the ability to intimidate. Yeah, so this was definitely back when the Scraggy line had the ability to intimidate. So yeah, I don't think you really have anything to worry about. Yeah, I think you were really intimidated. By the fact that the Scraggy can utilize the move Layer, and when it does use that move, it usually would give off this really scary looking face. Yeah, but anyways, now what about you, trainer? Yeah, what? Hey, if my Pokemon was with me, I would have challenged you. For a battle. Instead, please accept this. Oh, okay. But say you're just gonna give us a big root, huh? It is a big root. Now, have a Pokemon hold this, and it absorbs some more HP from the target. Yeah, like for example, if it were to utilize moves like a Giga Drain and a Giga Drain, and also like a Horn Leech, yeah, then you'll be able to get even more HP out of it. That move, that item is essentially not exactly mandatory. It's only there if you have your Pokemon learn those specific moves. But anyways, everyone, now as you can see here, excuse me, jeez. But anyways, everyone, now as you can see, now before you actually take on the gym, unfortunately the gym itself is going to be closed until you actually go to the actual, until you go to the X, until you actually go to the X, Team Plasma House. But, however, though, as soon as we actually get to the gym but however, when the gym actually opens up again, I am not going to challenge it, like, immediately. Yeah, just like I've been doing for the past several gyms, I want to make sure that my team is all fully set and ready to go. Now thankfully, just like with Route 16 and Lost Storm Forest last time, right next to Driftveil City, there is indeed another route where we can utilize that time so that we can train up our Pokemon, which is essentially what I am going to do. But anyways, everyone, now as you can see, now this guy that we're meeting, he is indeed the very same Rood who actually used to be one of the 7 sages. No, who actually used to be one of the 7 sages, I'm sure, of Team Plasma. So but now he now he's a part of the X. But now he is a part of the team, a part of the X. Team Plasma group. And now he wants to challenge us to a battle. So and this is indeed the very first time that we actually get to battle one of these guys who actually used to be one of the 7 stages. Which is something that we never actually got to do within the prequel titles. So that's really something. But anyways, everyone, now starting this off is his Herdier, who has the ability Intimidate, and it has the moves Helping Hand, Work Up, Take Down, and Crunch. So that Helping Hand is indeed incredibly worthless to him. So I don't get why he even bothered to actually have that move in the first place. But that Work Up can definitely get a really good use considering that he can utilize Takedown and Crunch a lot more. He could definitely utilize his other 2 moves a lot more power. And then as for his second Pokemon, excuse me. As for his second Pokemon, we get our first encounter with Swoobat. Alright, now Swoobat has the ability, Unaware, and it will have the moves Heart Stamp, Imprison, Air Cutter, and Attract. So it is definitely a good thing that I am utilizing a Pokemon that is neither a male or female. So I really do not. So I really don't have to worry about that Attract. And with the fact that with other 2 moves, they were really not going to do much damage to my Magnemite either. So Magnemite, I guess that's Swoobat, was definitely the best call for that to happen. But anyways, there we go. We have defeated Rood. Oh, and look what we got here. Finally, Magnemite is evolving. Magnemite is now 3 Magnemites but instead he's just called Magneton. Now, alright, now since we now have the first appearance of Magneton in Gen 5, now I may as well go over his sprite. Now, the Magneton sprite in Gen 5, now, I would say it's not entirely different from when it was last time. What I mean is, now, while it may look different, to me, it honestly makes me think of the sprite that Magneton got in Platinum, but instead it has been reversed. Yeah, I feel like that is definitely the right way I could say it. No, but anyways, as you saw with that, as with that sprite of Magneton's, but then as for Magneton's animation. Yeah, I would say it acts just about similar as from Magnemite, where it was simply we're just moving around and such. Yeah, but anyways, because of the incident of 2 years ago, we started taking care of the Pokemon that were separated. That were separated from their trainers as a way to atone for our misdeeds. And you are? Yeah, he obviously doesn't know who we are yet. I'm Hugh. I'm Hugh. From Driftveil City. 5 years ago, Team Plasma. I mean, you stole my little sister's Pokemon. I'm the pathetic trainer who wasn't able to stop you. Separated? What a joke! You were the thieves who stole them. Again, yeah, I get it, Hugh. You're angry at them, but calm down. Is that so? My sincerest apologies. Just an apology? That's it. Where's my sister's Pokemon? Pearline! Where's Pearline? Again, you, I get it, but calm the hell down. Jeez. The Pokemon you speak of is not in this place. I imagine it is still being used by Team Plasma now. Just as you say, our apologizing doesn't solve anything. But you can't move forward now unless you admit you were wrong and apologize. Enough already. Apologizing isn't going to get my Pokemon back. Ditto. I'm going to go to the Pokemon Gym. I'll get stronger and crush every single member of Team Plasma. Oh boy, here we go. Team Plasma made trainers like him suffer. I feel terrible about it. How foolish we were. Ditto. As you can see, I can't do anything to thank you. But what about that Pokemon that you have beside you? Actually, I have a favor to ask of you. Could you please look after this Pokemon, Zorua? Yeah, this is why I was saying that you should probably leave a slot open. Because, yeah, unlike in the prequel titles, the only way that you can get a Zorua or even a Zoroark were through the events. Whereas in Blind 2 Y2, they just freaking give you one. They just freaking give you a Zorua. So yeah, this is indeed our first time on where we can actually get to utilize our very own Zorua. Yeah, properly. but of course, I already have my team fully set up anyway. Yeah, I am not going to be utilizing the Zorua whatsoever. But anyways, now as you go for this, as you look at the info, yeah, it says this Pokemon was apparently friends with a certain trainer. And it was indeed previously owned by N. Now that right there is what you are going to get when you catch the other like Pokemon that N has also released. So yeah, that's already something, huh? Okay, but now another thing that I should also mention about this house right here, it's that now if you just so happen to have the memory link activated, then she'll be able to see your next flashback, and the flashback is about two plasma grunts who are talking about N, and then after they leave, then that's when N himself will show up too. We'll show up there. So yeah, that's something if you ever want to check it out. But anyways, everyone, now as you can see as well, yeah, now alongside the X Team Plasma, we now have the two women who we definitely met within in the Team Plasma Castle. Concordia, Concordia, and also like Anthea. So yeah, it is definitely a good thing that the series did not just forget about them entirely. And it also definitely shows is because during the Team Plasma storyline within the anime, these two characters actually now these two characters also got to be involved in it too. So yeah, it is definitely a good thing that the series did not forget about them entirely. But anyways, everyone, now that's done. Yeah, now we can head ourselves over towards the gym. But as I said before, I am not gonna bother doing that yet. Yeah, I am not gonna be challenging in the gym until I am done my next set of training first. Yeah. And yeah, we have once again Mr. Metal, who we just saw in this video. Okay, but let's see if he's actually gonna give us a medal this time. Oh, this time he does. Okay, this time we get the Pure Youth medal. Now you essentially get this medal as soon as you get one of N's Pokemon. Now, as you can tell, that one can definitely easily be obtained if you just so happen to get the Zorua. So yeah, that one is probably one of the more easier medals to get in the game. So yeah. Okay. Now before I end this off, I may as well go check up on Hugh. Oh, there he is. Challenging the gym, huh? Nice. Keep getting stronger. Let me tell you though, for Clay's tough. Even if all you have to use against ground types is water type Pokemon, you might still be in for a rough fight. Yeah, considering how it went down for us last time, yeah, I definitely need to get myself a probably more setup. Yeah, alright everyone, with that said, that should be all I'm gonna do with this video. And so to the next one, I'll see you guys next time.